Hello, happy Monday, guys. Happy Monday, happy Monday, happy end of month Monday. Wanted to come on here really quick to share some thoughts, share some ideas, and more than anything, maybe give a little motivation on how to end your month strong, okay? So for those of you guys who maybe are involved in our business, you know we had an amazing training this weekend, and the training was phenomenal. It was a leadership development weekend, 3 days of training, and then today we had an amazing Monday motivation call, and I was like, man, like. One of the things that I feel like all of us, I'm going to invite you to do is number one, have a sense of gratitude for the things and the resources and the people that you have around you, right? Like so many of us, sometimes we focus on what we don't have and we miss the boat on the things that we do have. So many times we think like, man, I wish I had this. I wish blah, 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 blah. I'm glad you liked it, Roxy. And so many times we feel like, oh my God, there's something missing, right? So number one, I feel so grateful for the blessing, so grateful for everything that we have around us or that I have around me. And more importantly, you know, being able to have a community of people that challenge and empower me. So I just wanted to say that. But okay, so it is last Monday of the month. And so what I want to do today is I really want to take a moment for all of us to have a moment of reflection. So we are in now our second quarter of the year, right? January, February, March are no longer here. And the question I asked in the beginning of the month was like, analyze yourself. Like, how did it go? How did you do? Like January, February, March is done. And I don't know about you, okay? But so one of the things I got to speak this weekend, and I had a lot of comments, and people were like, thank you so much, it was great. And I think that the reason why a lot of people enjoyed my section was because it was really like real, and I was being very honest because I really live in truth. Okay, I really do my best to live in truth. And when you live in truth, like it's almost like once you start living in truth, it's really hard to start to lie to yourself, okay? One of the things that my mom has always told me, and if you don't believe this, you might want to adapt this, and that is that the worst sin that you can have is to lie to oneself. The worst sin that you can do is to like lie to yourself. You can lie to everybody else, but when you lie to yourself, like that's some serious business, okay? So I really attempt to live in truth. So having said that, I want you to think about, I'm going to challenge you to be honest with yourself. I'm going to challenge you to really live in truth for the next couple of minutes. And that is, let's reflect on how did the first quarter go? Let's reflect on how did you do January, February, March in all the areas of your life. How are you doing with your body? How are you doing with your spirituality? How are you doing with your relationships? How are you doing with your finances / business, okay? And I want you to take a moment and really be honest with yourself. Are you where you thought you would be? And I'm going to be honest with you. The answer for me is no, okay? I'm definitely making progress, but I'm not where I thought I would be by now. Definitely not in my body. I definitely thought I would be further along with my results, okay? My meditation is pretty on point, but I could definitely do better, but I'm happy with that. My relationships, they're doing better, okay? But my business and my body, I feel like those are the two areas that I feel I could be further along. So number one, I want you to think about where are you and where did you think you would be right now with your body, with your spirituality, with your relationships, and with your career. And I want you to be honest with yourself. Are you where you thought you would be? The answer for me, 2 out of 4, is no. I am not where I thought I would be with my body and with my business and my finances, okay? In my relationship and in my meditation, I'm making a lot of strides, okay? So kudos to me, okay? But now here's the truth, okay? This is the last week of April. We are now in the second quarter. Question, how am I doing walking into the second quarter? How am I doing finishing the first month of the second quarter? So knowing that I have not done my best January, February, and March, knowing that I did not honestly do my best honestly didn't give it my all. Okay, I'm just being super honest. I made strides and I made progress. But if I were to be really honest with myself, and here's the deal. I heard this weekend. I listen to personal development every single morning while I'm getting ready, okay? And I heard this lady say something and I was like, oh my God, I haven't heard that in a long time. And that is, show me your calendar, show me your agenda, show me your planner, and I can predict your future, right? And so having said that, I'm like, oh my God, this morning I'm thinking, you know what? If I go back to my planner for January, February, March, there's no surprise that I am where I am today because of the activities and lack of, okay, activities and actions that I didn't take January, February, and March. So there's no surprise. I shouldn't be like, oh my God. You know, I was telling somebody the other day, my coach Olga always tells me this. Like, let's say Sergio does something, okay, my husband?
I always do something.
He said he always does something. So let's say he does something, okay? And I would tell Olga, like, as an example, okay? I would say, oh my God, I can't believe he did this. And then she would ask me, is this the first time he's done it? I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, well, yeah, is that like a thing that he does? As an example, okay? He hasn't done anything. My husband is a saint. And I'm like, no, he does this all the time. So then she said to me, then why are you surprised? And that really stuck with me when she told me that. She told me that during our wedding. Something happened at our wedding, not with Sergio, with somebody else. Someone did something. Someone didn't do something that they were supposed to do. And then we got into this big old fight about it. And I was so mad. I was complaining to her. And she's like, is this the first time he acts like this? And I'm like, no, he's like this all the time with me. And then she said to me, so why are you surprised? Why are you acting so dramatic? And I was like, oh! So here's the deal, right? So if you look at, not looking at outside, look within. Like if you look at your results with your body, with your spirituality, your relationship, and your career, and you're not where you want to be, look at what you've done and you shouldn't be very surprised, okay? Because the reality is if you had been consistent, okay, I'm speaking to myself too, okay? Had I been consistent, and that's another thing that happened this weekend. They said, you know, it's not that things are easy or that they're hard that will give you results. It's what are you going to be consistent in? Like if you're consistent with something, you're gonna get results. The problem, Karla Sandoval, is that I get bored. So I'll do something, okay, so I'm totally calling myself out, okay, but I'm sure I am not the only one that gets like this, okay? But I have that, like, I love new things. I love new stuff. So I'll start something and then I'm like, okay, and then I'm making progress. And then once I kind of like, I see results, I'm like, okay, I'm over that. I'm gonna do something else, right? Instead of continuing to do more of that. So that, yes, I know you're like that, Raquel. Who else is like that? Put on the chat, me, if you're like that, if you're the type of person, let me see, who else is like this, that you start something and you start getting momentum and then you get excited, but then you're like, okay, why are we like that? Because we're badasses, okay? I don't know. I'll tell you, I think that, okay, so, you know, in all honesty, okay, so me, who else is like that? Okay, don't make me feel alone here. I'm that type. Yeah, so it's like, I guess only 4 of us, okay, but no, I get bored. Yeah, so here's the thing, right? That, oh, you know what? Okay, I was not going to talk about this, but since it seems like a lot of us, I'm going to tell you, hang on, I'm going to get my notes from, I have an Anthony Robbins coach. Let me share with you what she said. Hold on, let me get it. So, because I told her this, I was like, you know what? I can start something, like I'm really good about getting myself going. But then once I start doing something, I'm like, okay, I'm so over this. What did she say to me? Hold on. So she said, hold on. I'm going to give you guys, what did she tell me? Hold on. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can remember, okay? Because I wanted to tell you word for word what she said because it really made a difference. Okay. Okay, so, okay, I can't find it, but I'm going to try to remember what she said, okay? And maybe today, I have my call with her today. Maybe I'll do a live tomorrow on what she said. I'll ask her again, or I'll find it in my notes. But basically, what she was telling me is, so we have to be careful in our language, okay? So you will act according to your beliefs. You will act according to your beliefs. So if you believe, as an example, that you are a procrastinator, then you're going to act like that. Okay? If you start speaking like you are inconsistent, you're going to be inconsistent, right? But one of the things that she was telling me, dang it, I can't remember what she said. I can't find it. So one of the things that she was telling me, she goes, okay, she said to me, she goes, tell me something in your life that you want to accomplish. Tell me a goal you want to achieve. So like in our business, right? I told her, I said, you know what? Oh, that's where it was. She goes, this is really annoying me. Okay, it's okay. I'll find it. She said, tell me something that you want to achieve, okay? So like, for example, in our business, one of the things we really need to do is we need to generate, actually any business, you need to generate new business. You need to get new people, right? And so I told her that. I said, okay, I want to generate new business. And she's like, okay, well, that's not very exciting. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, so you want to get new business. I'm like, yeah, that's what I want to do. Like, that's my goal for the next 90 days is to get new business. And then she said, okay, so that is not very, so here's the word, okay, Raquel and everybody else. That is not a very compelling language. So if you're like, I want to get new business, it's not very exciting. So she's like, let's sass it up. What is it that you really want? And I'm like, okay, what do you mean? She's like, yeah, so describe, like, why do you want to get new business? Like, why is that important to you? So I'm going to ask you, whenever we are inconsistent with something, or whenever we get on and off and we get bored, it's because we haven't attached a compelling feeling with what it is that we're doing. So for example, she asked me, she's like, okay, so why do you want to generate new business? Like, what is it? And I was like, well, because, like, she's like, why? Like, why is it that you want that? Like, what is that going to give you? And I'm like, okay. And she's like, okay, let's change the language. Rather than saying you want to get new business, what is it that you really want to do? I'm like, okay, I got you. I'm like, okay, I want to attract badass, driven, hardworking. Like, I want to attract women that are driven, that are hard, that are wired to work, okay, and that are like go-getters. And she's like, look at even your body language, Karla. Just the way you're describing what you're going after completely altered your mood, completely altered how you were feeling. So I'm like, oh my God, I get it, right? So she's like, so rather than saying like, okay, I got to get new business, like that is not very exciting. But instead, if you were to describe what you're going after, so I was like, okay. So she's like, say it again, and I said it again, right? I am on the search to attract, badass, wired to work women that are go-getters and like want to play a big game, right? And she's like, okay, now, so that's step one, you guys. So, okay, I'm remembering now, okay? So I got mommy brain, even though my son is almost 4. I'm still like, my head, like, I lost some brain cells, okay? So Raquel, I can only imagine you, girl. She's got like 5 or 6 kids. So for sure, girl, you're a little more airheady than me. So give yourself some slack, okay? It's all I gotta say. I discovered this weekend that moms, we lose brain cells when we have babies. I'm like, no wonder. So let's give ourselves some slack, okay? And love ourselves and forgive ourselves for forgetting absolutely everything. But anyway, so she goes, number 1, okay, let's start. Yes, girl, Raquel, like, I feel you, girl. So she said, okay, so start to use different language, right? And I said, okay, con razón, I know, girl. So she said, okay, so now, whenever you're working, don't be like, okay, I'm going to get a new distributor. I'm going to get a new client. Like, no, you got to be like, okay, because your words have power. Like, so I am searching for XYZ, right? And then she said, step number 2. She said, now, what is that going to give you? And I'm like, money? She's like, okay, I get it. But what else is that going to give you? Like, what else is that going to bring to your life? And I was like, I don't get it. She's like, yeah, how is that going to make you feel? I'm like, I'm going to feel like a freaking badass. Like, I'm going to feel unstoppable. I'm going to feel so good that I'm like helping other women, that I'm helping their families. I'm helping them make more money. Like, you know, and so she's like, okay, see how you like light up. I mean, guys, my legs are even shaking right now. Like, I'm so excited just thinking about it, right? And I'm like, okay. So she's like, okay, now from that space, from that energy, from that language, from that body language, and from that language and that focus, now what actions will you take? And I'm like, and so I started telling her, right, like what I would do. So the thing, you guys completely like deviated my conversation today, but it's okay because the chat, whatever you guys, we just go with the flow, okay? But so you know, so one of the things that I feel that a lot of times we get bored, at least for me, and we go to do something else, is because whatever it is that we're doing, we're not attaching enough excitement to it. And the reason we're not attaching enough excitement to it, Karla Sandoval, is because of the language we're using with what it is that we're doing. Okay, so I just got an aha moment. So, you know, so I'm going to invite you as we're coming into the last week of the month, as we're coming to closing the month this week, okay? We have end of month on Friday, okay? Yes, I forget it's okay to have fun. I know, seriously, and if you guys think about something, hi, Ernesto. Hi, Ernie. So, and if you guys think about something, anytime we've had success, like real success, most of the time we were having fun. And then what ends up happening is that momentum gives us excitement. That excitement makes us have fun. That fun gives us more momentum. That more momentum gives us more excitement. That excitement gives us more fun. The more fun we have, the more momentum we have. And then it goes, right? But then there's a roadblock or something that gets in the way that throws us higher, and yes, long time, throws us off our tracks, right? We get off our tracks, and when we get off our tracks many times, it's because someone said something happened, and here's the thing that a lot of us women do. Thank you, Ernie. Here's the thing that a lot of us women do, and Ernie, tell me if you do this, okay? You being a guy, tell me if you do this, or if any men are on the line, tell me if you men do this too, okay? Because I'm not a guy. But a lot of women, this is what we do. We're like on a roll. We're having fun. We've got momentum. We've got everything going on, right? And then something like happens that completely takes us off our tracks. And a lot of us women, many times, we want to punish whoever, like someone said something, did something, and you want to like punish them by you quitting, by you stopping. And it's like, do you realize that it's like you're wanting to drink you're drinking poison, hoping somebody else dies? Like, that makes no sense. Okay? Ya llegaron los corazones de Sergio. Oh. So, like, that makes no sense. Like, why is it that us women, a lot of the times, we drink poison hoping that other person is the one that gets, like, the other person dies? And I don't think men do that as much as us women. Like, we break up with the guy and we're like, oh my God, we're like devastated, and we go and like chop our hair off and do all these crazy things. Like, almost like hello, he probably doesn't even care. He probably is not even thinking about us, right? So one of the things I'm really going to invite us to do is to really be aware of when we start to sabotage or start to punish ourselves. Like, really think about what it is that we're doing. Like, we want them to hurt by us hurting ourselves. Like, that makes no freaking sense. But anyway, we do that all the time. So I don't know why I said that. Somebody probably needed to hear that, okay? So back to what I was saying. So think about this week, about closing the month, okay? What is it that you need to do? What is it that you want to have happen in your business? And associate, okay, or in your life, in your body, in your relationships, your career, whatever, and associate some positive, encouraging, empowering language around it. Associate language that really makes you come alive. Associate language that excites you. And then once you associate language that excites you and that makes you come alive, now step number 2, think, okay, how is that going to make you feel? Who are you going to be? What is that going to give you? Okay, so for me, I'm like, I'll make me feel like a badass. I'm going to feel like a boss lady. I'm going to feel like so awesome that I'm helping so many people change their financial life. I'm going to, oh, thank you, babe. I'm going to help you. Sorry, I got distracted with the little comments, okay? I'm just gonna feel powerful. I'm gonna feel unstoppable. Now, from that point, now, step number 3, okay? Now, what actions do you need to take? Okay? The most successful, okay, let me see what Ernie says, okay? The more success I have is by being super positive at all times, no matter what is happening in my life personally, and it rubs off on all my workers. Yes, absolutely. But my question that I asked you, Ernie, is do you ever punish yourself hoping other people feel the pain? That's what I wanted to know. But I love it, Ernie. So you know what? Something that RC said to this morning, this gentleman that did a call this morning, and it slipped my mind. I wrote it down, but it's on my phone. I can't get the notes, but I'll put it on the comments. RC said this phrase that like, oh yeah. He said, you don't determine your actions, but you don't change what you want based on the circumstances in your life. So like circumstances in your life will happen. You're not going to change what you're up to because of the circumstances, right? And how many people do that? They're like, oh, this person said no to me. So like then you get all devastated and then you quit. And you quit on yourself, right? Like don't do that. Don't put your life, your future in other people's hands. Don't do that. I try not to punish myself. See, men don't do that as much as women, but it's the whole mommy guilt thing, I think. Anyway, so thank you, Ernie. So you guys, last week of the month, okay, what are you going to do to really close this month strong? And for those of you guys who believe in these things, okay, in the earth and the moon and the sun and the stars and the planets and the energy and all that stuff, I love all that stuff, okay? Today is a full moon. So today is a great opportunity to really take a moment to really reflect on what you want in your life. Today is a great, and I guess it's the last super moon of the year. I don't know what that means, okay? But I guess it's something really big. Super moon, duh, right? So it's the last super moon of the year. So I'm going to encourage all of us to take some time to really think about what do you want for 2021? Like, what is it that you want? And remember, use compelling language, okay? Thank you, Ernie. Use compelling language. Think about how that's going to make you feel and what that's going to give you, and use those words that empower you. And then from that state, from feeling like freaking amazing, now think about what do you need to do? What actions do you need to take? Okay? Oh, I love that. Meek Mill said, when everyone stopped believing, never leave on yourself. Is that what it says? How you say it? Self-discipline. Yes. So, so think about that, okay? So whenever you're ready to put some action, don't put action from a state of, oh my God, I have to do this. Then you don't really take the actions and the energy that's necessary. So use compelling language. For those of you guys who logged on late, I'll put it onto the, I'll put it on my IGTV so you can listen from the beginning, okay? But use compelling language when you're describing what it is that you're up to. Then think about how that's going to make you feel, what that's going to give you, okay? And then think about the actions you need to take. And then guess what? Take them. Okay, take those actions, okay? Make sure you guys plan your day the night before. Really be crystal clear on what it is that you're going to be doing this week to have the most powerful week. We got, what is it? What's today? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So we got these 5 days, really 4 days, right? To really close the month strong. So you guys give it your all. Let's finish April like nobody else, okay? And really more than anything, you guys, I want you to know this. Dream big, work hard, because nothing comes easy, okay? Nothing worth having comes easy. Dream big, work hard, and go for it. And don't let anyone or anything take you off your tracks, okay? God bless each and every one of you, and we'll see you tomorrow.